Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people hate reading. This month's theme is movies that are funny or unintentionally funny, so James picked a movie by Mel Brooks called Blazing Saddles. And he brings you movie news at the end of the program.
Blazing Saddles.
This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, Ryan Preston.
And the old guy.
There's right there.
So James, what's this movie about?
This is my homage. I don't have a cowboy hat, so this is the best I can do.
To run a western town, a corrupt politician boss. That's an interesting one. Appoints a black sheriff.
IMDb.
Who promptly becomes his most formidable adversary. Dum dum dum.
The first thing I want to say is I love the riff on every single cowboy movie theme song ever. I love the quote where they actually got the guy who used to do a lot of them, got him to do it, and they never actually told him that this was a spoof.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
seriously.
As far as I'm concerned, this is like a who's who of comedy in this. I mean, I love Madeline Kahn.
Yes.
I love Slim Pickens.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man. Slim Pickens, great guy.
And I got to say, just every time I watch this movie, I'm always super excited. Gene Wilder, who's my all-time favorite
Another
ever.
Genius.
Did you know that Gene Wilder was actually not their top pick?
Yeah.
Not the original pick.
He kind of fell into it.
Well, the guy who actually was supposed to be playing Jim, who sometimes is called Jim.
Waco Kid?
The Waco Kid was the guy who originally played him was actually a drunk. He was actually drunk in the first scene where he's hanging off the thing. He was actually literally drunk for that role.
Oh, he was a method
playing
act.
a drunk.
He was a method act.
And
but apparently the guy had a history.
They booted him for it.
He apparently had a history of other problems.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that they just.
Yeah, I'm sure there was more to. I'm glad I'm glad it didn't end up with Gene Wilder.
I am too. It would not be the same movie.
No, he did a
On the
good job.
same note, Richard Pryor, also co-writer of the movie, was supposed to play Cleavon Little's part,
Yes.
but due to his sort of drug problems and insurance issues, they really couldn't, get him to buckle down and do the role.
I don't think he would have been right for the role.
No, he would have been too goofy. I like how
Cleavon Little, he's perfect.
Perfect,
Yes.
absolutely.
I'd say, or too offensive. This movie needs something a little more subtle, I think.
well,
He had just the right amount of charm to really pull it off.
Yeah, that's why I don't think Pryor would have been able to do that.
and this is actually my favorite role that Harvey Korman has ever played.
It was a good one for Harvey.
Just
It definitely-
amazing.
He did
Amazing. Now go do that voodoo that you do so well.
And this is one of the most quotable movies ever. Like my favorite one ever is Jim consoling Bart. What did you expect? Welcome, Sonny. Make yourself at home. Marry my daughter. You've got to remember these people are just simple farmers. These are people of the land, the common clay of the New West. You know, morons. The delivery on that.
I literally quote this movie almost every day, and one of my favorite ones is, "Isn't it a lovely morning?" And nobody really understands where that's from because people just think I'm just saying it's a lovely morning.
I often say that 16 is my limit on Schnitzenburger.
Now, there's just so many subtle things like Anal Johnson who keeps the bar clean.
Yeah.
There's just so many dirty jokes.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks is a dirty old man.
Yes.
I was a young man.
I was thinking that. Do you think that movie could be made today?
No.
Yeah.
No.
See,
Especially with how many times they said
I know.
the N-word.
Oh my goodness.
I was actually thinking about that. Now think about Django says it more.
Yes.
Well,
This is a comedy.
Yeah.
yeah, they couldn't satire it. It's the whole civil rights thing's gone on long enough that Tarantino could really whip it at people's faces really hard, with something like Django Unchained. But this one was so kind of in the face of it that it had to be a little more subtle and a little more satirical, but still made its point.
Well, I tell you, at the time, it was earth-shattering. I mean, really,
Sure.
Yeah, 74.
Yeah, and all I could think about is, when we were watching it the other day, is this movie just could not be made today.
No,
not
absolutely
at
not.
all.
This would be. There would be picketing. There would be
absolutely
movie theaters being shut down.
So with that said,
another movie with a black hero.
yeah. So, but with that said, I'm almost surprised that there isn't picketing and writing going on that it's available in Redbox. I mean,
Is it?
No.
I'm just
Okay, I was gonna say, is it on Redbox? That's awesome.
I don't know
why.
Did you look it up?
I think like Tarantino.
I looked on Netflix. It wasn't on Netflix.
I think like Tarantino, Mel Brooks.
But I own it.
People really love Mel Brooks.
Well, you can buy it.
So
I mean, it's still available.
Well, I think the reason why is because like Tarantino, Mel Brooks, all these people are really loved, so I think they get a pass. Well, if say Ryan decided to make a film, he wouldn't get away with it because he's not as beloved.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think you could get away with making this movie now. I kind of disagree with you guys.
I don't think so. I really
I
don't.
absolutely think you could.
No.
There's nothing in there that's.
The Irish would be so pissed off.
It's so offensive. It's so offensive to so many groups that we're so PC now.
No. My point is everything is not for the sake of being mean. It's for the sake of making a point. Like sort of like look at how silly this shit actually used to be in the 18.
I also don't think they could do it just because most modern comedies aren't as funny as this. I mean, you've got lines from like Hedley Lamar. My mind is a raging torrent flooded with rivulets of thought cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives. Taggart. God damn it, Mr. Lamar, you use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore. And the look on the guy's face going...
Dude, after the show for while John Charney reads the script.
Yeah.
Well, I like the...
Hey, that's
But think of the scene where he's talking and they bring out the paddles. I can't think of the name of the things. And he's like, the little devil's love games,
What was up with Quasimodo?
And then...
Oh, that's funny. I want to know how Mel Brooks kept his eyes crossed through all of that. I don't know how he did that. I mean, he
practice.
That was not normal.
But then he's sitting there, and then you also have the whole the Dom DeLuise scene that they're making fun of the gays.
That's another.
That was hysterical.
That is actually one of my favorite scenes of the movie. It really is. Dom DeLuise does such a fantastic role with that. He just
My favorite part of that is just like the end. He's getting sick and tired of the people. It's like, okay, you F it,
Yeah, this is how you do it.
But Ryan, I really don't think that this movie would pass this today. I really don't.
I think you could.
I don't
think
think
it
so.
would get a lot of press and whatever, but I don't think anybody who got it, you know what I mean, would defend it.
Well, tell me a comedy today that has come out since, let's say, 2005 that is similar to this.
Western comedy that had to do with slaves.
His family was Dutch.
Yeah, come on.
Right.
So I mean, you got him picking on the Dutch, you got him picking on the blacks, you got him picking on the Chinese, you got him picking on the Irish, you got him picking on the gays.
No, the Irish line was the greatest line in the movie.
I love that.
Everybody but the Irish.
Or he killed
everybody.
Or he killed more men than Cecil D. DeMille.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry. But I really don't think that they could push it as much as they did.
Oh, I think they could. I think modern audience.
I don't know.
So I'll tell you what, our big audience, the 1,000 of you out there, you tell us if you think this movie could be made today or not.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know who that band is in the desert, that's Count Basie. Go look him up too.
That's right.
By the way, that's an alive Count Basie.
That was a
no longer anymore.
A true jazz band.
Swing, I would actually call them. Swing jazz.
They still call it jazz, but they played swing. He did all kinds of stuff.
Big band jazz.
Yeah, big band, right?
Actually, one of the most amazing things that you always hear, one of the things of lore in this movie, as I've heard over the years, that Burton Gillum couldn't say the N-word at the time to Cleveland Little, and Cleveland Little took him aside and said, you know what, it's okay, you can say it, it's all in good fun and no words. However, if you said it in another situation, we'd have words.
So you had to clarify it.
Yeah.
I would be uncomfortable as hell.
Right?
I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I
I love how they played Gene Wilder's fast hands. Like the whole time his hands are right here, and all of a sudden, ding, 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 ding,
Yeah, well, actually, just sit like this. You sit like this on the thing, and then
always like it.
Well, that's actually one of my favorite all-time scenes is when he's sitting there and they're talking to each other and tell me how you got out here. Oh, I must. That whole thing. I used to quote that thing.
I love the contrast of Gene Wilder moving so damn slow after he's done moving so fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That, and then when they're smoking weed and he comes up doing the Mickey Mouse voice.
Yeah.
Okay, now
where'd he get that?
I'm sure a lot of you people are actually wondering, but yes, they were Yiddish-speaking Indians.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they were.
And for those of you that don't know, Svartsis means blacks.
Right.
And no, that needs I can't do it. Meshuga. Don't be crazy.
There's going to be something
There's a whole translation now on there. Back when this movie came out, if you didn't speak Yiddish, you didn't know what they were saying. Truthfully.
I think that's hysterical.
It is. My mom went with her grandparents who were fluent in Yiddish, and when that scene came up, they were the only people laughing in the theater. There's two of them.
I believe it. I believe that.
Yeah, it's just, I love the subtlety of his humor that he throws into this film. And this film, to me, highlights really how funny and how truly of a mastermind of the comedy Mel Brooks can be.
Because I think this movie's a lot more subtler than Men in Tights or even Spaceballs.
Yes.
There's a lot to this movie.
There's a lot of subtle comedy, and then there's a lot of non-subtle comedy.
Oh yeah, kind of like
let's read from the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Duck.
I have to believe that he worked for years on this script. I don't think this was a script that was done overnight, like Men in Tights or something like that.
You said Pryor.
I think it's much more of a point to make than Men in Tights.
Pryor was one of the writers in this, right?
Yes,
Richard Pryor apparently
helped.
I think I can see Pryor's influence in this.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I think this movie is so amazing is Pryor's.
And Pryor may have helped Mel Brooks use the N-word.
He probably did.
Because he
probably his pitch. I mean, the whole, black hero, no, everybody would be, hating him, and this is what would happen, and this is what would happen, and, that's like straight out of one of his comedy routines.
Or the bit who's in the sheriff office, here's the knock on the window, opens it up, and there's a little old lady handing him a pie.
Yeah.
And you would have the decency not to mention I spoke to you.
Yeah.
We'll have the good taste not to mention that we talked.
Decency.
And just think, 25 years, you'll be able to shake their hand.
John was kind of joking because he knew when I picked this when I pitched this theme to the guys, is that I would be picking this film. And my backup film, if John had picked this one, would have been Hear No Evil, See No Evil, which is Richard Pryor playing right next to Gene Wilder. Mm-hmm. And it's just another hilarious film. If you guys haven't seen that one and you were kind of interested in
Pryor's blind, Gene Wilder's deaf.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's hysterical.
It's a great
one. It really is.
It's a great one. So that would have been my backup if this one hadn't gone through.
It won't win an Academy Award, but it's hysterical.
I will say another thing is I don't remember. I think Mel Brooks has a tendency to break the third wall where he talks to the audience, and there's a few times that happen in here. Like the most notable is the what's his name, the corrupt politician actually talked to the audience and said, "Why am I asking you?"
Oh yeah, Mel Brooks loved to break that fourth wall down.
Yeah, fourth wall. Excuse me.
But this one also, there's some little things that most people don't know about this film. This film was actually nominated for 3 Oscars.
Probably for the songs, right?
One of them was for the song, one of them for Madeline Kahn, and one of them was for Mel Brooks.
Oh, not surprised.
Kahn, anything she's in, she's killing it. Young Frankenstein, she was amazing.
Oh yeah.
What about Clue?
Clue? Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to.
I'm almost positive she was in that movie.
She's funny.
There was
funny.
Mongo was also played by a former NFL star.
Oh yeah.
He went on to later
Alex Karras.
He went on later to play the dad from Webster, if I'm not mistaken.
He also did talk television. He was in the early stages of being, one of the personalities like on Good Morning America and things like that. He started as one of those.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he did football commentary as well. He was an NFL football player. So,
and James Earl Jones was also looked at for the role of Bart.
Oh,
really?
That would have been
that one would have been great.
I want to hear a Luke. I'm your father.
At that stage in his life, it would have been a totally different movie.
Oh man, I want to see that movie now.
Not me. I really love this movie.
Now I want to see James Earl Jones, Sidney Poitier, every serious black actor.
See him do comedy? They didn't do comedy. Yeah.
There is something I heard, and I don't know if it's true. I've heard this is the first time that a fart was ever heard on camera in a movie.
Yes,
in film in general.
Yeah.
And
on purpose.
And Mel Brooks decided that watching all the cowboy movies, knowing that they were drinking coffee and eating beans, that there would be a lot of gas going through. So he decided to make an entire scene dedicated to passing gas.
I don't care if you're 12 years old or 1,200 years old. That shit's still funny.
Yeah.
I share a story.
And
with
about
Jonathan.
the fifth fart is the one that's the juiciest one. You're like, dude, change your shorts, man.
I had the opportunity to see this movie with my father when he was still alive.
God.
And my God, he laughed so hard he had tears coming out of his eyes on that scene. Oh my! It was hysterical, and I can't help but think of my dad every time I watch this movie because he just loved it.
Yeah, and I remember
father-son moment right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Laughing at a fart joke.
It was hysterical.
I remember for these young kids back in the day before they had cell phones, there was the radio would still do those calls, fifth caller who can guess what this is.
Right.
And they played that on the radio. Just a little snippet of that, and there was a couple of them, the farts, and I'm like, okay, wait. And then there was a burp. I'm like, that's Blazing Saddles. And my mom looked over at me and goes, really? I said, yeah, I guarantee that's Blazing Saddles. But we couldn't get home in time to call.
Oh, dang.
I was like, I knew that off the
somebody
first
get it?
10 seconds.
Did somebody get it? Somebody did get it?
It's like the moment you hear the first 3 notes of Purple Haze, and you're like, Hendrix.
No.
Yeah.
But
You've heard like 2 farts and a burp, and you're like, Mel Brooks!
Exactly.
Or Madeline Kahn going, it's true, it's true.
I love her bit when she was making fun of the guy. The guy had his feet on there, and he said, "What's your name?" "My name's Tex, man." And just
Tex name.
Just going after that. Every bit she was in was hilarious.
Yeah, she was really good at the role that she played.
I'd be willing to bet a lot of this was ad-libbed.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it. I mean, these guys were so good at comedy that it just, Mel Brooks said, okay, this is the idea, go. And I bet that's where something,
But I could also see Mel Brooks. He is probably the top person in Hollywood that I would like to meet. Mel Brooks would be probably either the number 1 or number 2, definitely the number 1 comedy person.
My number 1 and number 2 would be Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner.
Yeah,
right.
That's a great one.
Stories between the 2 of those people have to be written down before they go.
Yeah.
They probably have some of the most epic Hollywood stories you've ever heard.
Anyway, I could see him. Where I was going with this, I could see Mel Brooks being very determined in his idea becoming film, and I would say that he would probably do it in a very fun and joking manner, but to be very serious about his comedy. I could see him being that too.
Wouldn't you like to see all the film on the cutting room floor?
Oh yeah.
All the stuff that we've never seen. Their outtakes.
All the outtakes.
Oh, it would just be incredible.
Well, I know the Blu-ray I have of it, which is an older release, has some of the scenes that were cut out, deleted scenes. One of the scene when Madeline Kahn scene, she goes on stage, is her walking out in a normal, like a normal outfit, her walking behind a screen and coming out in that.
Do you mind if I step into something more comfortable?
Exactly. It's pretty much.
That feels better.
Yeah.
That's just so awesome.
And the other part was when Mongo was attacking. You had.
Bitch was coming up with the candygram.
You had.
And they probably wouldn't give me credit either.
Yeah.
See, the one part in the funny and deleted scene of that part was you had Mongo come up to this like dummy with a gun and said, "If you want to fight, please put in a quarter." So he puts in a quarter, this cannon falls out of the chest and shoots him. But I think the candygram was a much better bit.
Yeah,
so
the
candygram. Ways of doing
I liked
Mongo,
it because they came up with the Looney Tunes music too.
Yeah.
That was just so hilarious the way that he came in, and even came in like Bugs Bunny. He came in with the persona of Bugs Bunny. If you guys see Bugs Bunny and you see him coming in. They're almost identical in the way they
slides
walked.
in. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, what do you give this movie?
It wasn't the 5. There's no hold bars on that one. That one's a 5.
Ryan?
It was a resounding bloody 5. This movie will hold up forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
So, old guy.
Oh yeah, it's got to be a 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have an extremely rare thing.
Wow.
And I haven't given anything a 5 yet.
5
this is my first 5.
across the board.
Because this is just such an amazing movie. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that we do have a Facebook page. You want to tell us how bad you suck? Do you disagree with my choice of Wing Commander as being funny? You're wrong, but it's hilarious. But let us know. Is there a theme you'd like us to do? Tell us how much Ryan, James, or I suck, even the old guy. So please, let us know. All 4 or 5 of you.
I'll buy
4 or 5.
all 4 or 5 of you.
Want to let you know.
Okay, so don't forget to hit the donate button too, because I kind of keep throwing money at one of our hosts here, and it just seems disappearing in a big hole, and it never gets used. So I need a donation badly.
Apparently he's Irish. So ladies and gentlemen, just let us know. Also want to do you a favor. Take a look at last week's episode, which was episode 100, where we did shorts.
Yes.
One of our favorite thing here to do is highlight young and upcoming talent. So just
Look it up.
We had a bit of a documentary too.
Yes.
And this week's movie news, if he has any, because it was a slow week, is James.
You know, truly, this is actually all I could find. But I just want to throw this out to Hollywood. You suck. Come up with something legitimate.
What do you mean new? You said
I
this
mean,
right
the news right now is Brad Pitt talking about some nutter that he found in his bed. Are you kidding me? This is stupid. Anyway,
Tom
Cruise?
Well,
Tom Cruise, his movie opened up poorly. That's my one little bit of news. His new movie, which usually in Europe opens up first, which it does, and he almost always kills it. Apparently, this new movie, and I've forgotten the name at the moment. I'm sorry. Bombed in Europe. So, but it's getting good ratings.
Is it Edge of Tomorrow with the newest?
I can't remember. I'm sorry. I apologize for all of you out there. I can't remember the name. But anyway.
I know what it is, but
Edge of Tomorrow, yes.
Anyway, the point is the question was, can a 51-year-old still do an action movie? And that offended me because I can easily believe a 51-year-old man can still do an action movie.
I
got
something.
I don't know about Tom Cruise.
I got something. Oh, yes. That's... we want to throw it out to, you're going to have to give me the actress's name, but Alice from the Brady Bunch has passed away today.
Davis.
Anne B. Davis.
She passed away the other night, apparently slipped, just never woke up. And, you know...
She has actually done more things than just the Brady Bunch.
Oh, no.
She's done quite a bit of things.
But
she's
people,
most famous for it.
Yeah.
Most people know her from the Brady Bunch because, as cheesy as the show was, there's most people I know, multiple generations have seen it, and have always enjoyed it.
She's an early television actress. I can't remember the hit she was in before, but she was in a show before that was very, very popular. She had won numerous Emmys for that other show prior to coming on to the Brady Bunch.
I was trying to think of the name of it, but I have something pulled up and I can't go.
I'm sorry.
Do it.
I'm
I'm
the old guy. I don't have any electronics in front of me today.
I'm trying to remember. It was anyway. I want to say it's a Western, but I don't think it was.
No. It was a situation comedy.
Wow. Holy crap. Okay, sorry, but you have your story because she was on like the Bob Cummings show.
That's it. Bob Cummings.
Love Never Come Back. Yep. Very brave. She did a lot of stuff that was a fairly big hit.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of Tom Hardy?
I thought he sucked his Bane.
Brian?
I really like him.
I kind of liked him too. I think that it was just the portrayal of Bane that you didn't like.
Yeah, I know. Because I like him in The Fighter. No.
Yes.
I like Bane too. I'll defend that shit.
He was another one that was a fighter. Anyway, there was a fighting movie.
Yeah, we did it actually.
Warrior.
As you can tell, folks, we don't write notes or prepare for this show.
No, heck no.
It's all off.
Everything's better ad-lib.
Watching. We don't know anything.
Everything needs to be ad-lib.
Just like the show.
I mean, do you know who Tom Hardy is?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
He's one of the hardest.
How do you guys think of Sam Fisher as being portrayed by Tom Hardy?
I have no clue.
It really depends on how they pull him off. Is it gonna be because he's a fairly young
spy
guy
type thing? Spy.
And it's a
he's
Tom Clancy.
A little large to play Sam Fisher.
That's kind of what I was thinking a little bit too. He's short. He's not very tall.
He's heavy.
But he's wide. He's
stocky.
stocky. Thank you. That's a good way to put it. He's not like overweight. He's just like built and
big guy.
My main problem is because the original voice was Michael Ironside, who's an old character actor.
Yeah.
He to me has always been the Splinter Cell guy, so I think he could do it. I think it would really depend on if he slims down.
So the question
this is
brought
being
up because
this is being put in. The premise
it's called a lead-in.
Is he's going to be. Yeah, I'm telling you, he kind of threw my brain off. But Tom Hardy is going to be occupying the role of Sam Fisher. They don't say who's going to be the director or what's going on, but he's working on the script of Tom Hardy. Liman told IGN, I think we have a great take on how to make an awesome film out of that. So they're going to be...
Well, and keep in mind, this is something they teased probably 6 or 7 years ago.
Or more.
So it's Doug Liman who's put out The Edge of Tomorrow, which is Tom Cruise movie that is failing. So... But I'm interested. I've been wanting one of these. Hollywood out there. I also want another. But he's also. Anyway, I'll get back to. But I also want a Halo movie that's decent.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
See, the problem with a Halo movie is, and this is what, because I disagree with it, but everybody says the problem with it is because you never see the Master Chief's face. And I don't actually see that as a problem because there's quality voice acting, which video games are. I actually don't think that's a problem. What do you think?
And feel show his damn face in the movie. Who gives a shit?
Because I don't think I don't think they ever show his face in the game ever.
Doesn't matter. That means anybody can play him.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was part of the mystique of the character, though.
Oh crap! Hey, do you know Doug Liman, the guy who's putting out the Splinter Cell thing, did Swingers, 1996 film?
That
Swingers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just.
And then he did all the Bournes. And he also did all the Bourne identities.
And I was going to say, your Edge of Tomorrow movie has an 8.1 rating on IMDb.
Yeah, wow. I was saying that the critics in the United States gave it a pretty decent rating, which they did, but it is being panned in Europe, so that's kind of odd, because it doesn't usually happen to Tom Cruise.
Well, and Bill Paxton's in this movie. Holy crap, I didn't know that.
Maybe he did something that pissed off the Europes.
Did he bounce on somebody's couch?
I don't know. Maybe
he said he loved Katy Perry.
Maybe they don't like Scientologists anymore.
Well, they don't in Germany. They're actually illegal.
Scientologists?
Yeah, Scientology is illegal in Germany. It's considered a cult.
That's a pretty good idea.
A cult.
Okay. Would be the ones to say we don't have time for this nonsense.
Yeah, I don't want to get on their bad side either. So you guys are okay. I'm not.
With the Germans? Yeah, Germans are great.
So next week's movie, if I remember the way this thing goes, is Ryan's pick.
I give up.
So Ryan, what movie do you have?
I picked one that wasn't unintentionally funny, but unexpectedly funny. When I saw it, I don't think it was ever advertised as anything more than an action movie, but I can't remember laughing so hard at an action movie and not expecting to at all.
Please don't be Last Action Hero.
So this week I picked Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh,
that's another Doug Liman. We were just talking about
that movie was funny.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm down with that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, next week's movie is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I gave the movie 5. Ryan gave the movie 5.
That's Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles, not
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Well, hey, you never know. So, ladies and gentlemen, Blazing Saddles got 5 out of 5 from everybody at Real Flix Reviews, which is extremely rare if you've watched the show for the last 101 episodes. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.